Welcome to this next lesson, and as usual, I always begin with the correction of the previous activity that I gave you. Remember, we looked at the usage of articles, and in particular, article a or article an. And I told you we'd look at another article, that is the, in the next lesson, and I believe we shall handle that perfectly. Corrections to activity 4. Instruction says, fill in the gaps with a suitable article, that which suits. Number 1 says, my uncle is as happy as a king. Article a has been used for that because the next word starts in a consonant sound, k, king, a king. Now that is it. Number 2 says, the journalist wore a uniform yesterday. The journalist wore a uniform yesterday. Yes, we have a vowel later, yes, but the first sound of the word uniform doesn't come from a vowel sound. It comes from a consonant sound. And that's why it takes article a. Remember the guidelines, the rules pertaining article a, how to use them. So that is the answer. Number 3 says, our son's teacher is a very knowledgeable person. A very knowledgeable person. Yes, it is article a because the next word after that article needed begins in a consonant sound or a consonant letter. You can even directly see. Remember, we consider two things, the letter and the sound. But we highly consider the sounds. This one will never mislead us. That's what I encourage you to do. Number next says, the vision manager is an honorable member of parliament. Yes, this article and, reason being, the next word begins in a vowel sound. Ignore the letter because we have it as honorable. Honorable. That is the sound O. And so it takes article and. I believe that you did well in that number. Look at the next article we're going to look at. That's article the. We want to see now how best to use article the. For, like we have handled article an or a. So we want to really know, when do we use article the? First of all, article the is used in a number of ways. And among the ways, I have this for you. When we talk of the obvious things, obvious, what the listener already know about. That's what we're talking about. What the listener already know about. For example, I may be talking to you, could be we share the same school, we go to the same school. Yes, and the school you go to is the one I go to. Remember, in our country here, there are very many schools. But out of the many schools, there is this one we know. It is obvious. So when I tell you that, I am going to school, I'm going to the school. I left my book at the school. I left my book in the class. You know the class I'm referring to. I am going to the market. This is the market we all usually go. Out of the many markets in the country, I have identified this one as the market. So this market is obvious to us. Could be, well, we always deal with this man in business, and this man is best known to us. And I ask you, did the man bring the goods today? You already know the man I'm talking about. That's how I've used the article the. It's used when you talk of the obvious things. I believe you've got that, friends. I want to look at the next principle governing article the. This is when we talk of the only available thing, that which exists alone in the whole world. An example is the moon, the sun, the earth, that which is the only one. So I want you to look at the examples I've listed. I've already mentioned them. One of them is the moon, the sun. Like we have the Sunday vision. Sunday vision. We have only one paper called Sunday vision. We have the world. Yeah. So when we introduce such a word, we introduce with the article the. Why? It is falling under the principle saying we should use article the to introduce this only available thing. That is it, dear friends. I believe you're keen at that. Friends, I want to take you through the next bit of it, constructing a sentence using such a word. I can say the moon shines at night. This is true. The moon shines at night. I have introduced the article I've introduced the object, the noun moon with the article the. Why? It is the only thing we know. I can mention the word moon here in my country, and everyone knows what we call the moon. When I go to London, I mention the moon, everyone knows about the moon. When I go to UK, everyone knows about the moon. It is the only thing. Friends, I am hopeful that you have understood. I want to give you the next bit of the sentence. I have it here saying, the sun is the main source of light. Everyone knows this. It is obvious. I hope you have got that, friends. When I talk of the superlatives and comparatives in sentences, superlative, when we're comparing things, we compare two things. When we're comparing two things, Jimmy and Alex, in terms of height, we can say Alex is taller than Jimmy. So Jimmy is the shorter of the two boys. Alex is the taller of the two boys. Look at what I've said here in terms of example. The best newspaper in Uganda is the No Vision. Of all newspapers, I have identified the No Vision as the best. I've used the word the best, and therefore this one proves that I am in the field of comparison under superlative degree. Remember, superlative talks about more than two. When you're comparing more than two items, like here I'm seeing newspapers in Uganda. We have many. We have a number of them. If I ask to list them, you will mention the very ones I know. Of course, I've identified No Vision. So the No Vision, I can say the Bouquet, the newspaper, I can say the Rupin, and many others. There are many. So of all, this one has been proved to be the best. I hope you have understood that. The next number says, of the two boys, Andrew is the brighter. Remember, the brighter. Where are we? We are under the comparative. We are handling two boys. We are comparing. Of the two boys, Andrew is the brighter. So you realize that the article the is used to introduce the comparative degree. Article the is used to introduce the superlative degree as well. So that's all I have for you for that principle. Let's look at the next way of using article the. When we are introducing ordinal numbers, ordinal. when I talk about ordinal numbers, I expect my listeners to have got some idea about it. This is the order of counting. For example, I can just direct to it. Count. Yes. Yes. We have, for example, Alex was the third in our class. Which ordinal number have you used here? Third. From first, second, third, fourth, and so on. So when we talk about the position in terms of in terms of ordinal numbers, we introduce that ordinal number with the help of the article the. Like I've said, Alex was the third in our class. Look at the article the third. Look at the first girl to arrive got a present. Okay, the first girl to arrive. So realize we have introduced the word first with the article the. We can't say a first girl. We can't say an first. No, we say the first, the last, the best, comparative, the first, ordinal number. I think you have understood that. Let's look at the next example. We say, we were told to mention the 9th president. Could be ours here, but we were told to mention the 9th. Look at the article the, introducing the ordinal number 9th. You can now help me construct more than those few I've given you. Friends, I want to look at yet another way of using article the. When talking about what the listener and the speaker already know about, which noun you are talking about, which noun especially. Like I'm talking about Jesus. Jesus is known, but here I want a noun. A noun. For example, we have like in the related example I gave you, we have that which we already know in the village. Yes, there is this place we already know. For example, where we go to the market to buy a few things, there is a specific place for slaughtering animal. We can refer to that. Are you getting that? He has gone to the shop, the only shop in the village that we really always go to. Dad has gone to the village. Dad has gone to the village. There is one village for Dad that we really know. Like where we have villages. There are a number of villages, but there is this one that the listener already know. Myself, I know. Even the one we're talking about knows that very place. So that is about that. Then another way is when we talk about countries that have got the word united in their names. Like I've said, when talking about a country that has the word united in its name, mark the word united. When we're introducing such a country, we introduce with the article the. Examples are here. I have the United States of America or the USA. My dad has gone to the USA. He lives in the United States of America. So such a noun, such a name is introduced with the article the. We also have the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates. This is a name of a country that when you're talking about them, when you're introducing them, you are encouraged to use the article the. Believe you have understood those. We also have another one, the United Kingdom. Why are we attaching this to the article the? Mark the word united. If a country's name has the word united, that country is introduced with the article the. I think you have got that. We also have another rulings on these places. Like I've told you, when the country's name has more than two words, the name has more than two words. That country's name will also be introduced with the article the. Let's think about these countries. Uganda, are those two words? No. Kenya? No. Which other ones? More than two names. What about the neighboring countries? Rwanda? No, that's only one word. Burundi? No. The Democratic Republic of Congo. Wow. Democratic Republic of Congo. Those are more than already two words. And that will take article the. Hope you are learning. Let's look at examples. We have the Democratic Republic of Congo. Can you get more words, more names? Yes? I have a country that is comprised of tiny islands. When I talk of islands, these are small states inside the lakes, inside the waters. An island, a land surrounded by water, and these islands are tiny. This is also another way of using the article the. When we're talking about the country which is comprised of tiny islands. Now, this refers to a number of these tiny islands, yes, that form a country. So when you introduce that's such a country, you introduce such a country with the article the. There are very few in the world. But you're lucky that we're going to look at a few of those countries. And what have I said here for you? And look at examples of these countries. We have the Philippines. This is a country formed, but inside the Philippines, we have very, very tiny islands that when you collect all of them, they form a country known as Philippines. We have the West Indies. West Indies is also a country's name, but inside it, here we have districts. From border to border, we have border to border. But this one is formed out of tiny islands. The bigger thing is water. Yes, but inside water, there are places surrounded by water. And all of them, when you count all of them, they form a country. Like Philippines and West Indies, I refer to this. I mean, they have small islands that make up a country. This just to help you understand what I'm referring to support this statement saying when the country is comprised of tiny islands. Friends, I hope you have got that. Look at the next thing I have for you. Guess what I have for you? Key information. 1. There are some nouns which do not take any articles before them. They don't take any articles before them. Which noun? Why? We shall look at them. Examples. Names of all liquid, like petrol, oil, water, milk, paraffin, and many others. Remember, we're looking at liquid. All liquid. They're not countable. Yeah, they are not countable. So they don't take articles. Instead of taking articles, they again take the word some. I need some water. I need an apple. An apple, apple is a countable noun. So it takes article. What about water? Can I say I need a water? No. I need some water. So it doesn't take any article. We have water, milk, paraffin, mentioned. You have these liquid things at home. So we have said names of all liquids don't take articles. We have the next ruling saying crop names like rice, millet, sisal, maize, and so on and so forth. They don't take any articles. Why? They are uncountable. Because when I say a book, it identifies, it calls for only one piece of that thing, an article. So that is about that, friends. We have names of all minerals like gold, silver, copper, to mention but a few. Some of these things may be new to you, but you'll keep learning them into details. When I talk about silver, when I talk about countries formed out of small islands, you'll discover them. And some of you will be blessed to move to such places. That will be a blessing. I hope it comes true. So friends, I want you to know that all proper nouns, what do I mean? A name used for an individual or person or place or organization, spelled with the initial capital letter like John, Kampala, Oxford. These ones don't take any article as well. You can't say the John, the Oxford. They don't take articles. So this is also used. There is also used for the second time. You talk about something. For example, I can say, I saw a man yesterday. The man was putting on black suit. Remember, I've used the word the man. When I'm talking about that thing for the second time, remember the first time I was introducing it. Yeah, I saw a dog around. The dog was barking at night. You see, that is how to use it. So, friends, I have an example here. I bought some fruit. I bought some fruit. The fruit was bad. The fruit was bad. I've introduced some fruit because I'm talking about it for the first time. Then I'm talking about the fruit for the second time. Then I now use article the. This is really amazing to learn. I believe it will be applied. We have this always applied in the picture composition when it comes to our English paper of examination. We always apply this principle. So don't forget this. Use them always wherever you will be. I hope you've understood, and therefore let me take you through this activity briefly. Use article a, an, and the to complete the sentences. This needs punctuation, a comma, and then like that. So we're supposed to use article a, article an, and article the to complete the sentences. What does it appear as? Number 1, dash orange is good after dash meal. Hope you are going to get it right. She eats dash egg every day. Number 3, Teddy met dash European on her way to St. John's Church of Uganda, Chirinya. Number 4, Paul is dash shorter of the 2 boys. Number next says, here is dash article that I wrote in the Monitor newspaper. Number next says, It was such dash interesting newspaper that I didn't want to stop reading it. I love this. Number 7 says, did you take a look at the at dash front page of this newspaper? Then finally, Omukebete is dash funniest comedian in Uganda. Friends, I believe out of this you'll get all numbers right. And I have nothing to wish you apart from good luck. See you when we meet next time. I love you all. Bye bye.